Intel thinks AMD is being super shady.
Kiss Digital now.
And Nvidia, naughty Jensen.
Ooh.
Bad boy. Sorry, that was weird. Let's get in the hotness.
I'm Kyle.
Let's get into the hotness, everybody. I'm your Brett host. We're going to be going over your hottest tech news I can find on the internet while you enjoy your breakfast this Tuesday, December 5th, 2023, also known as...
Categorically unviable.
GTA 6 trailer day. By the time this episode's coming out, it should be already launched, and hopefully you enjoy it. And we know more about GTA 6. We'll talk about it in hot news tomorrow. But today, we're going to start talking about things from the past, because Intel put out a little playbook indicating that they don't like how AMD is naming all of their processors. They have a little playbook discussing the fact that AMD's numbering is weird, which I will say, I'm gonna disagree with how Intel's going about this, but I agree with their statements, and it's actually a high horse I've been kind of riding on for a little while. Anyways, you can see in this core truths that Intel put out, which, because they sell the core chips, so they have core truths. It's funny. They say the number 7 is the only new thing about some AMD 7000 series processors. The Ryzen 5 7520U is actually built on Zen 2 architecture, released way back in 2019. The Intel Core i5-1335U is based on our latest architecture, Raptor Lake, released in 2023. That's something for you to know.
Okay.
So Core Truth 1, it's based on tech from 2019. Core Truth 2, AMD's old architecture is hidden in plain sight, which I did say that this was a problem when AMD, I think it was last year or 2 years ago, they said, we're gonna change how we're naming things. 7 just means the year it came out. So 7 means that it came out in 2023, and then 8 means that we're launching it in 2024. And then the rest of the numbers indicate what architecture you're getting. I believe the 2 means Zen 2. So when you're on currently the 7840U, that means it came out in 2023, the 8 means it's performance, and the 4 means it's Zen 4. And then the U means it's ultra low. So like, it is a weird naming convention, but it's also really weird and kind of desperate on Intel's side from what I'm seeing, that they put out this little booklet being like, not all cores give you the best overall performance. The future of education and learning depends on the latest technology.
They just took out the word core and like made everything like more confusing too, didn't they?
So that's going to be happening with the upcoming Meteor Lake chips that launch on December 14th. And the core stays, the I leaves.
Oh.
But then they also renamed the i9 chips, where it's the Core i9 processor 14900K.
Yeah, like they're doing confusing things too. It's not as misleading.
No.
But it is confusing.
Yeah, I don't think Intel's greatest leg to stand on is naming conventions. But they put a shady car salesman in their Core Truths little booklet that they put out.
I'm sold.
Well, trust him, it's new.
Mm-hmm.
That, isn't he from Transformers? That's what it looks like.
He looks like he could be. Why also... It's like sideways. What angle is that car at? Is he bending? Is the camera tilted, or is the car on a hill?
I just like the little drawn-on mustache that guy has.
That's not drawn on.
Well, Intel's not saying anything wrong. It's just a weird little move that they're making. And that's what I'm doing to today's video sponsor, a little weird move, because we're going to talk about Jawa, which is the marketplace for gamers by gamers. If you're looking to buy a PC, some parts this holiday season, or even potentially selling some of that stuff in order to make sure that you have enough money to, I don't know, buy your friends and family gifts, you can check out Jawa, because you'll be able to buy, sell, flip, all the things that you're looking for there. Additionally, they have holiday gift guides that you could check out. If you're looking to find the best gifts for your techie friends, techie loved ones, you can make sure that Jawa has those for you. And they also have the Ultimate Tech Tuber gift guide that has been recommended by other tech YouTubers, where they tell you exactly what you're supposed to be spending your money on this holiday season, especially in terms of like GPU performance or CPU GPU combos that you could potentially get. Additionally, you can sell your GPU to Jawa directly in case you don't want to deal with the hassle of being a marketplace. They'll pay you cash and you go on your merry way. Or you could buy a PC from one of their verified sellers. And if you use our code UFD10, you can save $10 on your first purchase with them at Jawa. Holiday season, typically a good time to potentially get yourself a good deal or give somebody else a good deal. That was one of the things when I used to have to sell PC parts, like especially when we left South Africa. I sold everything at an exceptional deal. Like, people were getting once in a lifetime deals buying my stuff. I like doing that when I sell stuff. It's fun. Maybe you need the money. I was just trying to get rid of stuff quickly, which Jawa allows you to do both. So check them out at the link in the video description. Big thanks to Jawa for sponsoring today's video. Well, now we're looking at a marketplace of bands. That makes no sense, but trust me, I don't understand what I'm going to talk about in the next little bit either, because Kiss, the band,
Not banned.
They're not banned. That is correct.
They're just a band.
Correct, but they are not anymore. Now it is digital replacements for them because apparently Kiss didn't have their final goodbye tour in 1999 like the shirt I wore in middle school said, but they had their final show at Madison Square Garden just this past weekend, and it turns out that that final live performance was the night that they introduced the band's successor, which was a digital version of themselves. There's a new virtual band for Kiss. Kiss has gone digital.
What does it mean?
It's not entirely clear because the avatars of the band members aren't exactly the band members, but rather an interpretation of them, and it's based on George Lucas's ILM who's making all of this. And then it's not quite clear what the plans are. They have no specific plans for what's going to be happening with the band, but it's going to keep them forever young and iconic, and they will stay immortalized.
They're gonna be like the Gorillas, but it's Kiss.
But I mean, eventually these guys are gonna die, and like it's
Yeah,
gotta
but,
be
like,
AI replaced at some point.
Well, it's like how the Gorillas are just a bunch of different artists.
But it's
that,
just
like,
the guy from Blur who like orchestrates it.
Yeah, but these could like be AI versions of.
But they have the thing
Kiss.
that I saw was no AI mention, which makes it very confusing for me.
They could be being vague on purpose, and it is just straight up AI. And
It
they
could
just
be
don't
that.
want people talking about it.
It could be a very much similar situation to what's happening with James Earl Jones being the voice of Darth Vader.
Vader.
I don't know why. It just came out wrong. But having AI actually voice Darth Vader moving forward and James Earl Jones signing on for that to happen. You just keep the mouse happy with signing over your rights to him.
Oh, the Disney mouse.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
I didn't know what you meant.
Oh, well, you know who's not digital right now, but probably could be easily replaced with AI? Reece.
Yo, welcome back to UFD Deals, bringing the hottest tech deals out on the internet, and happy GTA 6 Day, as this will forever be known as. And for good measure, I have some deals to throw on top of that as a bonus. Starting off with the HyperX SoloCast USB condenser microphone for only $29.99, making it $30 off. But then next up, we have this Acer Nitro XFA243Y, which is a 24-inch 1080p 165Hz VA gaming monitor for only $99.99, making that $74 off. And then continuing with the 99 train, we have this Deepcool LT720W8, which is a 360mm AIO CPU liquid cooler for only $99.99 with included promo code, making it $40 off. And with that, the deals are done. You can find these and more linked in the video description down below. But until next time, I'm gonna hand you off back to Brett and Kyla for the rest of your hot news. Cheers.
Thanks, buddy. Here's a good deal for you. We got a war on our hands, and it turns out that the battleground is AI.
How's that a good deal?
I don't know. I'm scared. And according to Meta, Nvidia is the arms dealer in this race. They're supplying the weapons that's happening in the AI race
Wouldn't
war.
Apple be the arms dealer?
Apple doesn't own ARM. ARM would be the arms dealer, and Nvidia tried to buy ARM, so they were really trying to be the ARM dealer, but they weren't allowed to. And also, one of the things that Nvidia wasn't allowed to do in this AI war that's going on is sell certain GPUs to China. And now there are reports coming out from the US government where the US Commerce Secretary is not happy with Jensen, is not happy with Nvidia, and is specifically calling them out in public forums for the things that Nvidia is doing. We talked about last week how there's now an RTX 4090D that's supposed to be coming on the way in order to make it so that they get around the sanctions, because you can see right here, every single time the US has imposed sanctions on GPUs that were supposed to happen, Nvidia has cut them down a little bit and then continued to sell in China. That happened in August. Nvidia introduced a new GPU in November. Took the US government about another year to introduce new sanctions. Nvidia changed it, and then they launched new sanctions, and now Nvidia is changing the RTX 4090. So it's been an ongoing tit for tat back and forth between Nvidia and the US government in order to be able to sell their GPUs inside of China. But one of the things that the Commerce Secretary actually said in this latest interview is that they are going to potentially be moving on from it can't hit this performance benchmark to it shouldn't be able to do this functionality, saying specifically that they're seeking a new way to have a continuous dialogue with industry where our engineers can go toe-to-toe with their engineers, and we could go to them and say our intent is to deny China technologies that can do X, Y, or Z, rather than they can't hit this specific performance target, which is exactly what's been happening. The US government says your GPUs can't be this powerful, and Nvidia's been selling them right here, right below that line. And now it looks like they're gonna say, hey, we don't want China to have GPUs that do AI. And so Nvidia has to say, all of our GPUs can do AI. And that's going to create a weird, tricky discussion in transition for all of this. I'm not exactly sure where this is going to go. I understand geopolitics is a little past what we typically cover here on Hot News. I understand why the US's policies are this way, and I understand why they're feared of China getting their hands on the same chips that American companies have. But at the same time, I'm not sure how you solve it without just like slapping sanctions on Nvidia, which is one of the things that the Commerce Secretary said that they are potentially considering if this, back and forth continues to happen.
And it's just happening because Nvidia knows they can sell,
Slightly slower GPUs.
but they will for sure sell tons in China.
Exactly.
Every
Yes.
time.
Yes, but the Commerce Secretary is saying that she can potentially just lower the bar the next day. So if it can't hit this performance target, NVIDIA announces the RTX 4090D, well then US will come out and say, oh, it has to be here. And then NVIDIA has to launch the RTX 4080D. And it's just going to create this situation where AMD wins. And we don't want that.
Just let them keep doing it. It's all a bunch of like bureaucratic nonsense that's just gonna end up doing the thing. Is it not? It's gonna waste a lot of people's time.
Okay, well now we're getting into the political side of the discussion about whether or not this has merit, which, listen, I'm not a geopolitics expert. I'm barely...
I don't even like Geodude that much. He's not my favorite.
Well, you know who you're not the favorite of? This guy. Let's get into comment response. Kyler has been itching at the bit in order to discuss this one. This was actually on Friday's episode of Hot News, where I'm
Kyle.
says, okay, someone has to say it. I've got nothing against him. No hate. But Kyle is starting to kill this show for me, man. I used to watch UFD religiously. Now I'm starting to avoid shows purely because Kyle is so hard to watch. It's not endearing cringe. It is military grade cringe filled awkwardness that stops being fun after about 2 minutes. People are trying to be nice about it, but I'm kinda done. I'm sorry, but we can't all be good at everything. Brett's a real likable guy who seems like he can hang with most people. Even he's struggling to vibe with Kyle because the man is categorically unvibable. He is anti-vibe in a can. We all gave it a shot. Sometimes things don't work out. No harm, no foul. Can he please go back to his old job that I'm sure he's good at? And could you please give someone else a try? Anyone else? There are 4 likes on this comment.
One of them is me.
I didn't even know this comment existed until you brought it to my attention this morning.
Yeah. I thought it was funny. I took a screenshot and I put it in me and my friend's Discord, and we had a fun time with it. My name is now categorically unvibable in that Discord server.
It's also your little tagline on stream now.
Yes, I changed that to my Twitch bio on my Twitch channel. I changed it to my Twitter bio. I think it's great. I think this is awesome, and I agree. I am categorically unvibable, and I should not be allowed to do this.
All right. Well, let's talk about some comments from yesterday's episode with Steve Poe15 saying the 3060 should be 220 at the most, but 180 to 200 would be more fair. I agree.
Costs more than a Portal.
It does. Just play on your PlayStation Portal, y'all. CC12YT says normalize using 2 GPUs. I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why not?
You want to be a little shill for one company? Buy all of them. You need to have RGB, Intel, Nvidia, and AMD in one system. You can't do that. Just go play on a console. Nicholas saying Papa Brett talking about his 6 question child is fun. I mean, all his child and employees and himself.
What?
I don't know. I did talk about my kids yesterday.
His 6 child is fun.
I think he's talking about my 6-year-old child, which is my youngest child.
Or
and I specifically talked about how the fact that I almost have a teenager.
I thought that this was saying Papa Brett talking about his 6 children is
right. I don't know.
Not that many.
I don't have that many kids.
More than 2, less than 6.
That feels right. That's a good place. Gore-Tex saying talking about towing and payload capacity on this toy is comical. Real trucks do real work. This isn't it.
Truck.
Well, I mean, that's what it feels like, right? Like, It has 11,000 pound towing capacity and a 2,500 pound payload. Like, those are normal truck numbers. Like, I don't...
My truck's bigger.
Categorically unvibable. Maxa says, what a treat it was hearing Brett's American Sandevistan pronunciation. First I was like, say what now? Sandevistan at 325? Replayed it a couple times only to realize, sheesh. How do I know I'm not the one saying it in a, surprising head tilt inducing, you got my attention, say what now kind of way. Anywho, I'm gonna say thanks for the very much appreciated content as usual, y'all. Hope y'all have an awesome week. I only know how to pronounce it because I watched the Cyberpunk Edge Runners anime. I'm just repeating.
How'd you say it?
Sandevistan.
Sandevistan.
That's how they say it in the show.
How do other people say it?
I don't know. Max has got his own way of saying it that I'm getting judged for. And normally I stand my ground on pronunciations, but I just, what do you want me to do here?
Sandvestin?
Sandvestin. Ooh, that's good. What are you investing in?
Bitcoin?
It's at 42 grand right now.
Sandy Viston.
Oh, like the operating system.
Windows Vista?
You got it. All right, categorically unviable man needs to go take a rest. He hurt his back yesterday. He's getting old.
Fell over lifting weights. We didn't have any safety precautions we took. No.